Please respect your parents now though, let's start video. The auditorium buzzed with the hum of parents, their murmurs blending with the rustle of programs and the squeak of folding chairs. Emily Harper sat in the third row, her hands fidgeting with the hem of her sweater, her eyes fixed on the stage where a makeshift curtain of red velvet swayed slightly. She wasn't here for herself, not really. She was here for Mia, the 5-year-old girl who'd stolen her heart in a way she'd never expected. Tonight was Mia's first school play, a chaotic production of The Wizard of Oz where kindergartners stumbled over lines and props wobbled precariously. Emily's chest tightened with pride, but beneath it, a familiar ache stirred, a memory of loss, love, and a choice that had changed everything. 5 years ago, Emily's life was a different story. At 25, she was a graphic designer scraping by in a cramped Chicago apartment, her dreams of a big career dimmed by endless freelance gigs and mounting bills. Her roommate, Sarah, was her opposite, a whirlwind of optimism, a nurse with a laugh that could light up a room. They'd met through a Craigslist ad, strangers thrown together by necessity, but over late-night talks and shared coffee runs, they'd become friends. Sarah was pregnant then, glowing with hope for her baby girl, even as she navigated life as a single mom-to-be. Her boyfriend had vanished when she told him the news, leaving her to face motherhood alone. Emily admired Sarah's courage, her refusal to let fear dim her joy. "This baby's my miracle," Sarah would say, rubbing her belly. "She's gonna change the world." The call came on a rainy April night. Emily was sketching at the kitchen table when her phone lit up with an unknown number. The voice on the other end was a doctor, his tone heavy with the kind of pause that carries bad news. Sarah had gone into labor early. There were complications, a hemorrhage unstoppable. Sarah didn't make it. Emily's world tilted. She sat frozen, the phone still pressed to her ear, as the doctor's words sank in. Then came the question that shattered her. "You're listed as Sarah's emergency contact. There's a baby, a girl. She's healthy, but do you know what Sarah wanted for her?" Emily didn't know. Sarah had never spoken about a will or a plan, only dreams of raising her daughter with love. The days that followed were a blur, hospital visits, social workers, and a tiny, squalling infant who needed someone, anyone, to step up. Emily wasn't ready. She was single, drowning in student debt, and barely able to keep her own life together. Adoption agencies circled, offering to place the baby with a proper family. But every time Emily looked at the girl, named Mia by Sarah in a note scrawled before she went into labor, she saw her friend's eyes, her friend's hope. How could she let go of Sarah's miracle? The decision wasn't logical. It was a leap, born of grief and a stubborn refusal to let Sarah's light fade. Emily signed the papers to become Mia's guardian, then her adoptive mother. Friends called her crazy. Her parents, practical Midwesterners, warned she was throwing her life away. "You're not equipped for this," her mother said, voice sharp with worry. But Emily didn't care. She sold her art supplies to buy a crib, traded late-night sketching for bottle feedings, and learned to navigate tantrums and daycare waitlists. The first year was brutal, sleepless nights, endless doubts, and the constant fear she was failing Mia. But there were moments, too, Mia's first smile, her tiny hand clutching Emily's finger, the way she'd giggle at a silly song. Those moments kept Emily going, stitching her broken heart back together. Now, 5 years later, Emily sat in the auditorium, watching Mia twirl on stage as a munchkin, her pigtails bouncing under a too-big flower crown. The play was a mess, kids forgot lines, a cardboard tree fell over, but to Emily it was perfect. Mia was thriving, a bright, curious girl who loved dinosaurs, hated broccoli, and called Emily Mommy, with a trust that still felt like a miracle. But as the play unfolded, Emily's mind wandered to a secret she'd carried for years, one she hadn't shared with anyone, not even Mia. Sarah hadn't been entirely alone. There was a letter, tucked away in a box of Sarah's things, found weeks after her death. It was addressed to a man named Daniel, Mia's father, the one who'd walked away. Sarah had written it during her pregnancy, pouring out her hopes for their daughter, her forgiveness for his fear. "I know you're scared," the letter read, "but she's part of you, too. If you ever change your mind, find us. Emily had tracked Daniel down, a construction worker in Indiana, living a quiet life. She'd sent the letter, expecting nothing. To her shock, he'd replied, not with promises, but with a single line. I'm not ready to be a father. Please take care of her. Emily had honored his wish, raising Mia alone, but the letter haunted her. What if Mia deserved to know him? What if Emily's choice to keep him out was wrong? The play reached its climax, Dorothy and her friends facing the wizard. Mia, as a munchkin, had one line. Follow the yellow brick road. She belted it out, voice clear and proud, and the audience chuckled. Emily's eyes welled up, not just from pride but from a sudden realization. She'd spent years worrying she wasn't enough for Mia, that she was a placeholder for the life Sarah had planned. But watching Mia shine, Emily saw the truth. She wasn't just filling in. She was Mia's mother, in every way that mattered. The weight of that truth hit her like a wave, and she clapped harder than anyone, tears streaming down her face. As the curtain fell, parents surged forward to congratulate their kids. Emily stayed back, letting Mia bask in the chaos of hugs and high fives. That's when she noticed a man lingering near the exit, his face half hidden by a baseball cap. He was tall, with a weathered look, and his eyes were locked on Mia. Emily's heart skipped. She'd seen his photo in Sarah's old albums. It was Daniel. Her first instinct was to shield Mia, to pull her close and walk away. But something stopped her, a flicker of Sarah's forgiveness, her belief in second chances. Emily approached him, her voice steady despite the knot in her stomach. You're Daniel, aren't you? He nodded, eyes downcast. I got your letter, he said. Years ago. I couldn't face it then. But I saw the play announcement online, saw her name. I had to come. Emily studied him, searching for the man who'd abandoned Sarah. Instead, she saw regret, raw and unguarded. Why now? She asked. Daniel hesitated, then pulled a photo from his wallet, a worn picture of Sarah, smiling. I never stopped thinking about her. Or Mia. I'm not here to take her. I needed to see she was okay. His voice broke. She's more than okay. She's incredible. You did that. The words unlocked something in Emily. All the years of doubt, the nights she'd questioned her choice to adopt Mia, melted away. She wasn't just enough, she'd given Mia a life full of love. But she also saw the pain in Daniel's eyes, the same pain she'd carried when she lost Sarah. In that moment, she made another choice, one as reckless and brave as the first. Stay, she said. Come meet her. Not as her dad, not yet. Just as a friend. Daniel's eyes widened, but he nodded, a flicker of hope breaking through his guilt. Emily led him to Mia, who was still buzzing from the play, her flower crown askew. Mia, this is Daniel, Emily said, her voice soft. He's someone who knew your first mommy. Mia tilted her head, curious, then grinned. Did you see me sing? I was loud. Daniel laughed, a sound that seemed to surprise him. The loudest munchkin I ever heard, he said. They talked for a while, Mia chattering about her role, Daniel listening with a quiet awe. Emily watched, her heart full but aching. She didn't know what the future held, whether Daniel would stay in Mia's life or fade again. But she knew she'd made room for possibility, for healing, just as Sarah would have wanted. As they left the auditorium, Mia's hand in hers and Daniel trailing behind, Emily felt a weight lift. She'd carried Sarah's miracle forward, not alone, but with the strength of love that binds us all. 5 years ago, Emily had been an underdog, a young woman with no plan, stepping into a role she never expected. Now, she was a hero, not because she'd saved Mia, but because she'd chosen love over fear, again and again. The play had been more than a school event. It was a reminder that miracles aren't just born, they're built, through small acts of courage and connections that endure. As Mia skipped ahead, singing, "Follow the yellow brick road," Emily smiled. The road wasn't always clear, but they were walking it together, and that was enough. And please subscribe my channel and like, share and comment.